What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers have a new owner in Mark Walter, which is great. I've talked very heavily about kind of the impact that it'll have, not necessarily in the short term, right? If you're expecting there to be like a huge move or anything like that, you're probably going to be disappointed. I think anything that happens this offseason was going to happen regardless. It's not like the Lakers now magically have more assets or more spending power or anything like that. This just means that they have deeper pockets to get into the tax or make sure like an Alex Caruso situation doesn't happen again, right? Those type of things. Also, from an organizational standpoint, right? Paying the top doctors, paying the top dietitians, paying the top trainers and stuff to get our team and our development players and all that stuff to be the best in the league. I mean, look at the Dodgers. Dodgers have the number one pool in all of baseball because they put the time, effort, and energy and resources into it. The Lakers are going to do the same thing, right? Dodgers farming system is insane, right? Best of the best. Lakers will be the same. Right? And I mean, JJ Redick talked about it last year, that's the goal that the Lakers want to do. It's not a coincidence that now Mark is the owner, right? After that happened, he was a minority owner. This was something that was in the work for years, and he probably said, hey, if I'm going to buy this thing, we need the top. I need to be a culture, right? Just like you have Dodgers culture, we need Lakers culture. We need the Lakers standard. And I love that. Right? You got an owner that wants to win, will do whatever it takes to win. I love that. So let's start, putting the pieces together to go win. But as far as like the players and roster construction, all that stuff, I don't really see drastically changing, right? I hope that we don't get new owner syndrome and all that other stuff. I talked about that in a video. But specifically, I want to talk about Austin Reaves in this video, right? Because gotten some questions, seen some buzz, like, does this change kind of the Lakers' approach with Austin Reaves? And if I'm being honest, no. I don't think anything will change in regards to Austin Reaves. But there is the potential in multiple ways, right? One, it now becomes much riskier with Austin Reaves. And what I mean by that is Austin Reaves, he's not going to sign the new contract extension, right? He's going to go into free agency because he, wants to get the most money possible. Don't blame him. Go get your bag. But that's not the best scenario for the Lakers, right? Well, he wants, 30 to 40 million range, right? Ideally, if the Lakers could get him closer to that 30 million range, then that's great because I do think he'd be tradable at that point and all that stuff if you needed to get off of him later. Now, if he starts getting into the 40 range, I think it's going to be tough to trade him because how many teams are going to want to have to overpay for Austin Reaves? Again, Austin Reaves isn't, a superstar or anything like that. Could he continue to improve and get better? He's gotten better year after year. Sure. Yes, of course. Right? Who knows what he looks like as a second option opposed to third option? I mean, you look at what he's done as the second, first or second option. He's averaging, I believe it's 28, 6, and 8 off the top of my head when, LeBron doesn't play. So again, could there be that potential that maybe we look and fast forward and he is a max guy? Sure. It's a possibility, right? Don't ever want to, sell a player short, right? I just don't necessarily think he will be that or is that, right? Again, change my mind. Regular season's great. What do you do in the postseason is my big thing, right? Now, I don't think Austin Reaves is a bum or a bad player or anything. He's an excellent player. I just don't think he's a superstar, top, max contract guy, right? But here's the thing. When you're going into those negotiations and you have Jeannie Buss and she doesn't have the deep pockets and you are limited on your spending and it's like, hey, look, we'd love to give you 40 million, but like, if I give you the 40 million, how are we going to build or I don't have the money, right? Like I can only pay for so much, I'm a broke, right? Like where now you got a guy in Mark where it's like, I know you have the pockets. I know you're willing to pay. And I know that you can pay, right? You don't think the agent is going to take advantage of that? You don't think the agent's going to know like, yeah, with Jeannie Reaves, you're probably getting 30, 35 million. With Mark, we're getting the max. And that could be crippling for the Lakers, literally. right? So this could change and pivot the Lakers' direction, because if I understand that, and many others understand that, I imagine the Lakers understand that. And is it in the best interest of the Lakers to pay Austin Reaves a max? I don't think so. Again, at $30 million, I believe you could trade him. At $40 million, I think it's really tough, right? Unless he really does take those, continues to make strides and take leaps. So I have my concerns in that regard. If I'm being honest, again, I don't necessarily think it'll change anything other than, again, his contract. I don't think the Lakers are necessarily going to trade him or anything like that, because, again, Jeannie's still going to operate as the governor. She really likes Austin Reaves. I don't think she's going to give, the green light and the okay to trade Austin Reaves. Maybe Rob Pelinka is now the president of basketball operations, but Rob Pelinka likes Austin Reaves too. So, he could make the decision without having to go through all the channels in order to make it happen, right? So he could just make the trade if he wants to, but still, it's just, I don't think that they're going to trade him, but I do think it becomes a little bit, I think regardless, this offseason, you are looking to trade Austin Reaves more than you ever have because of the circumstances, right? Let's say, you were on a scale of 1 to 10, you were at a 6 on at least, considering trading Austin Reaves. I think now you're at a 7, maybe an 8. Because, again, if you're robbing them, you got to be thinking, he's going to get probably $40 million, right? We can't lose him for nothing. His agent's going to know that. You got to remember, Rob Pelinka was an agent. You don't think Rob Pelinka's thought of this? He was an agent. His job was to get his clients the most money possible. You don't think Austin Reaves' agent is not going to look at that? You don't think Austin Reaves' agent isn't looking at this and going ooh, guess what? Reaves, you're getting paid. This was huge for Austin Reaves potentially. So I think if you're the Lakers, you have to at least have that in your mental. You have to at least have that as hey, this is something that could happen, right? So again, this could be troublesome for the Lakers. Now, look, it's very possible he just or maybe he'd want $40 million elsewhere, but he's willing to take 30 to stay with the Lakers, or 35 to stay with the Lakers. I mean, he said himself, he wants to finish his career with the Lakers. He wants to stay with the Lakers. So maybe he would take a little bit of a discount in order to stay with the Lakers than he would elsewhere. If the Lakers were to trade him, that's a real possibility. There's also a possibility that I want to be a Laker, but I also want, I don't want to miss out on $10 million, not to mention the Los Angeles tax and all that other stuff, right? So, and look, I wouldn't blame him. Go get your money. I'd be getting my money. You kidding me? You're paying me. So I'm never going to complain about a man trying to get his bag. Go get your bag. But again, that doesn't mean it's best for the Lakers and the team and the growth and winning championships and doing all this other stuff, right? If he's overpaid, especially with the new CBA. If this was the old ways, then fine, because you could just keep spending, right? Just spend. Hey, yeah, we overpaid Austin Reaves. Oh, well, it doesn't matter. Here, go get the next guy, right? It's not a big deal. And other teams would probably be more willing to take him on even as an overpay, because he is still a good player. And it's hey, we're fine. We could keep spending. But now with the new CBA and all these aprons and stuff, overpaying a guy, again, can kind of become a death sentence, right? So it's a big thing to kind of keep in mind. Now, as far as the likelihood of him getting traded, again, I don't think that changes, right? Because you could look at it and go well, what does Mark want? Does Mark want to keep Austin Reaves, or does Mark want to trade Austin Reaves? Right? But he's not, at least from what the reports say, he's not trying to necessarily get involved with the basketball side of things. He's kind of trying to, hey, you guys, Jeannie, Rob, you guys do your thing at least for the next few years. Right? My guess is probably through Rob Pelinka. Rob Pelinka just got that new extension. He's probably going to let Rob finish that extension. Jeannie and Rob will kind of be there and then, make the decisions accordingly, is my guess, right? So I don't think that the new owner now goes, hey, no, I need you to trade Austin Reaves. Now, it could be one of those things where let's say Rob is considering it. And if he went to Jeannie Jeannie's like, absolutely not. Do not trade Austin Reaves. Where now you might go to Mark and go like, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And he might go, well, yeah, if you think that that's best, then do it. Or yeah, I'm not against trading Austin Reaves at all, right? And then now he maybe gets traded. But my guess is he'd probably go like, what does Jeannie think? Kind of let Jeannie, because again, she's still going to operate as the governor. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that she's going to be making all the final says in basketball decisions, right? Governor just means she's running and operating the Lakers, which she is excellent at. You know, like, say what you want about Jeannie. She is fantastic on the business side of things and running the Lakers. It's just the basketball decisions she has not been great at. So these are all little things, but I'm not going to lie, I'm a little worried because I think I'm worried about the Lakers just overpaying for Austin Reaves. Now, where Jeannie would have had that inherent, kind of excuse of why he can't pay you the bag. Like, again, hey, just let you know, I only have so much money. Or now it's like, hey, this guy, he's got all the money. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So if you enjoy these types of videos, I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.